Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, last night we had GCW Wasted Time from Pop's nightclub in Chauncey, Illinois. I live about 45 minutes from there. I wasn't able to go to the show, but I was able to watch it on Fight Plus. Hey, I mean, the best deal in town, $4.99 a month. Gets you every GCW show that's ever aired on Fight Plus. Got you Wasted Time last night. Got you one afternoon today from Indiana. Starts in about 10 minutes. It got you the Wrestling Revolver show from last night. Get you Black Label Pro. You get all this. It's $5 a month. There's no better deal in town, to be honest with you, when it comes to pro wrestling, except some of the free stuff on YouTube. Alright, so GCW Wasted Time. We had 8 good matches. It was overall a really good show. I know we did have some travel issues. Nick Wayne wasn't able to get out of the northwest because of a snowstorm in Seattle. So we had a card changed a little bit, but again, it wasn't bad at all. So first match, we just had a straight up Lucha Libre style match. We had Starboy Charlie and Jack Cartwheel. These two guys, again, just two up-and-comers who go out there and just put on good matches. They both have done a little bit of the scramble kind of stuff. There wasn't a scramble match on here, which is a normal GCW style match, but without having that, this match overall was good. Starboy Charlie ended up getting the victory by submission, which was impressive. A little submissive game going on there. I ended up giving it 3.5. Next up, we had a lot of people say in pro wrestling, styles make fights. This was the power style of Shane Mercer and Axton versus the high-flying Lucha Libre style of the Bang Brothers, Austin Matthews and Davey Bang. If you've never heard of the Bang Brothers, they are a team that typically wrestles in Illinois, in Chicago, AAW, Warrior Wrestling, I've seen them with Glory Pro and some other companies. Typically, Davey Bang comes out drinking a Bang energy drink. He didn't have it last night, which is kind of surprising. This was just power versus Lucha Libre, kind of the high flyers. Power versus high flyers. Power wins out all the time. As many dives and everything that the Bang Brothers could do, Action Ray, Shane Mercer was able to counter it with a power move. Shane Mercer and Action Ray ended up getting the victory. I give it 3.25. Next up, we had a unique matchup, to say the least. We have Sawyer. She is a deathmatch wrestler who can survive in scramble matches, going up against the legend of deathmatch wrestling, Madman Pondo. Pondo is kind of like to deathmatch wrestling as the Rock and Roll Express is to tag team wrestling. Just that person that's been around forever and a day, who has done it, been there, done that, got the birthday card, and passed it on. This match was okay. The first big spot, they both sit in chairs and they're, doing the elbow to each other in the face. I thought that was kind of cool. Sawyer, you could see she was just for a smirk on her face all the match, kind of like, oh my god, I'm wrestling Madman Pondo here. But overall, not too bad of a match. Sawyer get the victory. I give it 2.5. Next up, we had a match that was hyped. Had a lot of hype to it, but to me, because of the hype it had and who was in it, it didn't live up to it. We had the GCW tag titles on the line. We had the champions, Los Mazisos, with Ciclope and Miedo Extremo, going up against Second Gear Crew, Matthew Justice and Mance Warner, going against the originals from ECW, the Sandman and Two Cold Scorpio. So, Scorpio comes out by himself, and then Second Gear Crew comes out, and then the tag champs come out. They start, the Second Gear Crew and Los Mazisos start battling in the ring. Two Cold Scorpio gets involved a little bit, does a couple moves. No Sandman. And then probably halfway through the short match, we finally have Inner Sandman hit by Metallica. Here comes the Sandman rocking through the bar, pouring beer for everyone, and okay, typical Sandman stuff. The guy's 59 years old, so I understand this part. So he gets in the ring with a kendo stick and starts hitting people with a kendo stick. Okay, perfect, I get that. I thought if one of the Second Gear Crew guys hit Sandman. I don't know what happened at that point. He was literally laying across the bottom rope with his head down, just laying there. Match goes on a little bit. Los Mazisos gets the victory over Second Gear Crew, and then they take Sandman out. You hyped this match for a triple threat match, and we got that. We did have a retainer of the tag titles. I give it 2.5. I was disappointed, to be honest with you. Very rarely am I disappointed with Game Changer Wrestling, and this was one of those matches. The Sandman had no business being in there. I mean, what you should have done, in my opinion, has the Los Mazisos, Ciclope, and Miedo Extremo come out against Second Gear Crew, Mercer, and Matthew Justice. And then, halfway through the match, have the Sandman's music hit. People, oh, the Sandman's here! Have Sandman come out drinking the beer and doing all that. Get a kendo stick. Hand Mance Warner a beer and a kendo stick. And then go beating on Los Mazisos. And then drink his beer and leave. That had been perfectly fine with that. But I think you ruined this match by what we did with it. I give it 2.5. Next up, we had Jimmy Lloyd and Jake Lander. Jake Lander, just like the Bang Brothers, wrestled a lot in Illinois with AAW out of Chicago, and then Warrior Wrestling, seen him there a couple times, and some other Illinois-based upper Midwest wrestling companies. Jimmy fucking Lloyd getting the victory here. I give it 3.25. Next match kind of shocked me a little bit, the outcome of it, because we had the John Wayne Murdoch, the NGI 7 winner, the Gage Deathmatch Tournament winner, versus Effy, the Dirty Daddy Effy. Who's your daddy? Good match, though. I mean, to be honest with you, Effy's just hilarious, because Murdoch had these, like, skewers, and he pounded him into, or Effy pounded him into Murdoch, and then Murdoch pulled him out of Effy with his teeth. Random as hell. Effy got the victory. That's what kind of surprised me. I'm like, why are we... John Wayne Murdoch just won the Nick Gage Invitational 7, and we're letting Effy get to go over on him on here. Okay, whatever, guys. I give it 3.5. Next up, we had Tony Deppen versus Jordan Oliver. A rematch from Fight Forever, January of 2021. There was a 24-hour show that GCW put on YouTube and on Fight. It was broke down into multiple segments. There was an Iron Submission segment. These two had an hour and 20 minute, a 2-hour submission match that Jordan Oliver won 7 falls to 6 falls. Yes, a 2-hour match drug ass. I've watched 90-minute matches. I've watched 93-minute matches. A 120-minute match drug ass. Straight up drug ass. Period. I think I gave that 4 if I remember correctly. 3 and 3 or 4. This match was good. It was about 30 minutes long. Didn't seem that. Obviously, we've seen a 2-hour match with them. But both these guys can go. Tony Deppen is just a crazy hell guy. Jordan Oliver is one of my favorites right now. And then we had Tony Deppen getting the victory on this one. I give it 3.5. Then our main event, GCW World Heavyweight Title line. In a death match, we had the god of this shit, GCW World Heavyweight Champion Nick Gage versus who I've been calling the Prince of Death Matches, Cole Radrick. And I call him the Prince of Death Matches because, again, Nick Gage, the god of this shit. Alex Colon, a multiple-time Tournament Survivor winner, 3 times, 3 in a row, I believe he's won. He's won multiple death matches. I think he's the king of death matches right now. And that makes Cole Radrick the Prince. Because I've seen Cole Radrick do some normal matches. I've seen a lot of death matches with him. This boy can go. I love when Nick Gage comes out, MLJ has that whole intro he does for him. We couldn't get there today because, you know what? Cole Radrick started out hot. Jumped over the ropes. Of course, Gage comes out carrying a thing of tubes. 4 light tubes bundled together. And Radrick takes them out immediately. Bell rings. They go at it. We had light tubes involved. There was 2 panes of glass out there. And I don't recall either pane of glass getting broken, which kind of took away a little bit from me. But overall, we got doors involved. We got glass involved. We had pizza cutters. Oh, I love it. Nick Gage whips his pizza cutter out. And immediately, Cole Radrick had like the parachute pants on with all the zippers and pockets. pulled out his own pizza cutter. At one point, Nick Gage had a bag, a Christmas bag, mind you, full of pizza cutters. I'm sitting there thinking, so when he shows up Target and in Walmart and goes, I need pizza cutters, and buys a whole, like, 10 pizza cutters, do the people out there, is he going to do self-check, or do the people like, dude, why do you need so many pizza cutters? What's funny about that is if y'all remember him being on AEW Dynamite with the death match versus Chris Jericho and the whole MJF Jericho feud, he had his pizza cutter out, and he used it on Jericho. And the first commercial break was a Domino's commercial. Like, I love it. You would think they would try to get one of the pizza places to sponsor, put Pizza Hut on or Domino's or Papa John's or whoever on the pizza cutter. That'd be kind of cool. Little advertisement there, but you know. But yeah, just seeing Cole Radrick pull out a single tube and hit Gage with it, and Gage pulls out the 4 tubes together and takes out freaking Cole Radrick. There was one spot where Radrick was facing the ring post, the corner. Gage put the 4 tubes behind him and then ran into it. But yeah, I mean, again, if you look at death matches, you got to look at those differently than you do a normal match. When I look at Starboy Charlie, check Cartwheel. No plunder, nothing involved. Straight up match. One, lucha libre, little floppy going on, submission. I give it 3.5. When I look at a death match, I look at the items used in the death match. Nick Gage, Cole Radrick, okay, pizza cutters. Did it make sense? Was it overused? Was it? Could you look at it like, did that need to be used in that spot? Look at the light tubes. Is there just? I mean, when you're standing just with light tubes, is there spots for the light tubes? Glass. Is there glass used? What else? What other plunders out there? Doors, chairs, etc. So I rated this based on how I feel about death matches with Cole Radrick, with Nick Gage. I'm going to give it 3 3/4. Now, there's probably people going to watch this and be like, it's like a 2.5-star match. But in my opinion, I give it 3 3. Because there's a couple spots that I really thought Cole Radrick was going to pull it out. But he didn't. So we had Nick Gage retaining the Game Changer World Heavyweight title with a 3 3/4-star match over Cole Radrick. Now, next up, we have the one afternoon show. It's starting about now in Indiana. We also have coming up the next Nick Gage is going to defend the title versus Tony Deppen coming up. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I think we have 2 shows left this year before the New Year's Eve show, which every year the New Year's Eve show will actually finish New Year's Day. So that New Year's Eve show, the sub-main, when a little before midnight, they'll have the midnight celebration, and then the first match of the next year will be the main event of the New Year's Eve show. So I'm going to try to do a review of the show this afternoon, and probably either tonight or tomorrow, and then I will review them as I do them, and then January 1, we will have the best 22 matches of 2022 for Game Changer Wrestling here on Robert Sports Show. We are still planning on best of the showcase of the independents for the entire month of January. Each day a different independent company. The way I look at it, there are 4 big companies, the big 4 plus everyone else. The big 4 is WWE, AEW, New Japan, Impact Wrestling. Those will be done throughout the month, but every day we'll have a different independent company. With Game Changer Wrestling, we'll have Warrior Wrestling, we'll have Prestige Wrestling, West Coast Pro, Wrestling Revolver, which I got to finish their show from last night. So yeah, that's all coming in January, so stay tuned to Robert Sports Show. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day, have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.